Fences 5 runners. And he's 1 to 3, 4 to 1 Petit Zig, third intention 14s, 14s are Phelan's Boy, 7th Sky 50s.
So the thing everyone wants to know, David, is how did Vautour look in the paddock?
I thought he looked fine, really. Looked okay, so shouldn't really be too many concerns on that score.
Yes, that was the thing that Ruby Walsh, the point he was making about him versus Petit Zig, although he's receiving £5 from Petit Zig, so clearly a really favourable weight terms on which to start his season here in the Stella Artois 1965 chase. Petit Zig at least has got race fitness over Vautour, but he was looking well, and of course he was an outstanding winner of the JLT, beating Apache Stronghold by 15 lengths. He was described afterwards by Ruby Walsh as flawless.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair description, really. It was a hugely impressive performance, just his 4th start over fences. He'd won the 1st and 3rd of those. He'd been beaten on the 2nd start, where he all but fell in a race at Leopardstown, and eventually completed to finish 2nd. But apart from that, he's looked pretty faultless in his races over fences, and it's really exciting to see him here this afternoon.
He was sweating up prior to that defeat by Clarkham, a horse that turned out to be very good in his own right. He looks perfectly fine down at the start here today. Petit Zig, though, is himself a very decent second season chaser. He won the Dipper at Cheltenham in January, but he did fall here against more seasoned chasers behind Balder Succès. That was immediately before the Cheltenham Festival, where he could finish only 5th behind Vautour.
Yeah, he was a fair way behind Vautour on that occasion, on quicker ground than they'll face this afternoon, and he does have the benefit of that run at Down Royal in a race that Paul Nicholls has farmed over the years, but he's never really won it with a top-notcher. It's usually been a good second division chaser, and I think Petit Zig has got his work cut out, giving £5 to Vautour here if Vautour is anywhere near fit this afternoon.
Sam Twiston-Davies tweeted in the Post today saying that Petit Zig is a more complete horse this season, and it was a good 9.5 length defeat of Clarkham at Down Royal last time. Third intention seems slightly improved this season, and this kind of small field is where we tend to see him at his best.
Yeah, his 2 wins came in 4-runner graduation races, for which he picks up a £6 penalty here. I thought he was a little bit flattered in the Halden Gold Cup last time. He plugged on past a couple of horses that had done their running to take 2nd to Vibrato Valtat.
Phelan's Boy won the Reynoldstown here at Ascot in his novice chasing days. He went on to win the RSA chase at the Cheltenham Festival and then ran below his best at Aintree. We haven't seen him since that run, 596 days since, and this is a good starting point according to trainer Rebecca Curtis.
It is. I think apart from Vautour, he's the horse I'm most interested to see in this race. I thought he looked really well in the paddock, looks tuned up despite his long absence. This trip will be on the short side for him, though, you would imagine, but he's got entries in the King George and the Welsh National, and I'd imagine that if he shapes promisingly here, we'll see him out again over Christmas.
He can get on and off the bridle in the run, so keep an eye on him during this. And the outside of the field is 7th Sky, who was a slightly improved performer last season and has improved slightly again with that win at Warwick.
Yes, he's had 2 runs back this year. He hasn't really travelled on either occasion. He was, not surprisingly, no match for Conegry last time. He wasn't asked to take Conegry on at Sandown, and I suspect they won't be wanting to take Vautour on here either.
Yeah, that Warwick win was last season, of course. It was the 2nd to Conegry last time, having previously pulled up. I think they're coming in now for the Stella Artois 1965 chase, so let's join Richard.
Runners being called into line. Flag raised. Vautour heading the slow procession, and they're off and racing for the Stella Artois 1965 chase, and Vautour is the one that leads them towards the first of the 17 fences that they'll take during the course of this journey. And Vautour pops over in front. Phelan's Boy treated with a little bit of disregard. Rusty after his absence maybe. Third intention towards the inside with Petit Zig, as Vautour now begins to stride on with more purpose. So Vautour leading by 4 lengths as they head into Swinley Bottom. From in 2nd place, third intention on the inside of Petit Zig. Phelan's Boy disputing 4th place with 7th Sky as they make their way right-handed and now begin to climb steadily uphill. Vautour taking a keen grip out in front, leading by 3 lengths or so. Petit Zig on the outside of third intention. They dispute second as Vautour pops over the next. Fourth place for Seventh Sky, and Felin's Boy just taking a little bit of time to warm up this afternoon as Vautour sails over that. Second place, third intention, jumped it better than Petit Zig. Head towards an open ditch now. And Vautour, less exuberant there, but still to the other side swiftly. Third intention in second place has shaken off Petit Zig for the time being, about a length between the two. Seventh Sky and a Felin's Boy, as Vautour was a little bit more clever there. Petit Zig's just made a couple of scrappy jumps down the side of the racecourse. Doesn't cost him too much, but it has mean that third intention is able to hold second, and they remain clear of Seventh Sky and a Felin's Boy. So tanking along out in front, Vautour with this high cruising speed, deceptively so probably, as he heads on towards the next. The Felin's Boy is already being pushed along at the rear of the field, so Vautour heads up the home straight, puts himself right. Third intention matched there by Petit Zig, with 7 lengths back to Seventh Sky and a further break of 6 to a Felin's Boy. So Vautour heading up the home straight with a lead of about 4 lengths or so. And again, he's clever enough over it. So the order as they make their way up past us: Vautour leading by a couple of lengths from third intention in second place. Petit Zig in the checks of orange and blue in third, with 7 lengths back to Seventh Sky. And a Felin's Boy at the back of the field. Now Felin's Boy is being eased down, I think. I think a Felin's Boy is about to be pulled up by Barry Geraghty. I hope the horse is okay. Never really warmed up, and Barry, with a circuit to go, has pulled the horse up at the rear of the field. So Felin's Boy is out of the contest as Vautour leads the turn towards the final 10 obstacles out on the final circuit. So Vautour, leading by about 3 to 4 lengths, is over well from third intention Petit Zig. Seventh Sky, Felin's Boy. Barry Geraghty hasn't dismounted, so I don't think there's anything seriously amiss. Just never really travelled with any purpose. So Vautour, just running down the fence slightly, leads third intention and Petit Zig. Seventh Sky continuing valiantly, but in what looks already a pretty forlorn pursuit. On towards an open ditch. Vautour from third intention and Petit Zig. No change in the play really, as Vautour reaches for that, gets to the other side safely. Seventh Sky is also over, but is now increasingly remote as they make their way towards the 7th last. Vautour out in front. Step to that, and Ruby Walsh for a moment had a hand pointing to the heavens, and the hearts were in the mouth. So Vautour continuing on from third intention and Petit Zig, but that was the first serious alarm as Vautour being held onto round this bottom turn. Petit Zig and third intention. Can they launch challenges of any note as they race towards the 6th last? As where Vautour jumped really well a circuit ago. Petit Zig in the second. Vautour again is over that, just inclined to shift slightly out to the left. Third intention of Petit Zig. Vautour now just beginning to try and up the tempo here. Saw a stride and again soared over that. But the two pursuers didn't lose any ground. They're still in the game as they head towards the final open ditch. So Vautour out in front from Petit Zig and third intention, who are 3 lengths down. As Vautour heads towards the 3rd last, Seventh Sky continuing. Vautour still held together. And just edges down the fence slightly. Petit Zig, a mistake there by third intention. Back in 3rd place, and Vautour continues on as one by one some smart horses come off the bridle in behind. Petit Zig 3 lengths down. Third intention all of a sudden found this too much. Seventh Sky has throughout the final circuit, and Vautour galloping on towards the 2nd last. Petit Zig trying valiantly to make some sort of race of it, but Vautour still travels powerfully at this stage. Vautour over 2 out. Petit Zig a length and a half down. Ruby Walsh holding Vautour together. Petit Zig on the far side has got Vautour off the bridle. Can Vautour get home here? Because all of a sudden Petit Zig looks a threat. Vautour needs a good leap at the last. He got it. Ekes out an extra length or so. Petit Zig on the far side is making Vautour pull out all the stops. This time it's roll up your sleeves and battle time. But still Vautour, the result is the same. Vautour sees off Petit Zig, who gave him a bit of a fright. 3rd place, third intention being borne down on by Seventh Sky. Third intention holds on for 3rd. Seventh Sky last before the finish.
Well, it wasn't a matchless coronation, but Vautour has got it won for Willie Mullins and Ruby Walsh in the colours of Rich Ritchie, and beating Petit Zig, who, remember, was conceding £5 but was race fit for Sam Twiston-Davies and Paul Nicholls. Here's the mistake that he made: 7 out, reaching for it. He'd been adjusting to his left throughout. His jumping wasn't flawless, but when it was good, it was very good.
Yeah, it was just a tendency to go slightly to his left for much of the race, but he's tanked along till the home turn. From there on in, perhaps lack of fitness comes into it as a factor, perhaps an improved Petit Zig comes into it as a factor, because he's battled really well, the runner-up, and he's come through to press Vautour going to the last. Vautour gets one of his best jumps over that fence and finds that little bit more on the run-in. I think, although Petit Zig was giving him £5, I think you'd be happy with both horses, really, the way that they've run there. The seconds run a really gallant race in defeat, and the winner has done as much as you would like on a reappearance with much bigger targets ahead.
We were talking earlier on in the show about how Ascot does expose her wanting to go left-handed. I think, if anything, that would be the way around that Vautour might prefer to go.
Yes, it was his first run right-handed over fences, and he has gone to his left pretty constantly through the race, not to any great degree, not to the extent of Delgany Gunner earlier in the afternoon, but it will have compromised his chance a little bit. But I think the way that he knuckled down against a persistent challenger, I think would encourage you.
Coral have eased him for both the King George and the Gold Cup, 5-2 and 9-2 respectively. You can get 2-1 and 7-2 with Ladbrokes, who were less inclined to push them out to that degree. But Vautour has made a